Hey, how you guys doing today? Welcome to my fasting journal. I have known about the benefits of fasting for quite a while now. However, I have just made a recent commitment within myself to find out exactly those benefits for myself and how does one accomplish that by trial and error. And that is exactly where I currently reside in my fasting journey. I am continuously trying out different 48-hour fasts per week to find out which one my body appreciates more. I have done coffee and green tea. I have done green tea. I have done just water. I have done fruit. There's so many fasts I've done thus far. However, I'm going to continue this journey with trying out different things, extending the time, shortening the time, taking as many notes as possible, how my body reacts, how my body functions at certain times of the day while fasted, and just any notations that I'm able to gather. So as far as this week, I am going on the 66-hour mark, and the only two things I've put in my body during this time is coffee in the morning and then watermelon at night for dinner. So this was a coffee and watermelon fast, and mind you, I had the coffee first thing in the morning and then had the watermelon late at night. So there was still a huge gap in the middle of just water or nothing. And I want to say I did watermelon this time instead of the green tea mixture because of the sugar in the green tea. I felt as though if I was going to be consuming that much sugar, I might as well do it the natural way through fruit. And I noticed this time my hydration was substantial. I often find it challenging sometimes to just want to sip on water unless I've gone through an extensive workout, which I do a lot. However, just to drink that amount of water, because watermelon is substantially amount of water. So to just want to snack on watermelon gives me more of an incentive to stay hydrated, keeps a more stimulated mind because I'm not drinking water, I'm eating water. It's so funny, and I truly love how the brain works and functions. I did notice though the benefits are lesser than when it was just the green tea because I'm not quite sure if it's the eating part that is hindering the progress or what it may be. So I definitely did notate that. I was hydrated. I did perform very well at my boxing class. I did get decent sleep, but nowhere near as much as when I don't eat. So I'm going to continue to notate that to see if that was just a this week thing or is it a liquid versus solid thing in our consumption process, digestive process, whatever it may be. So that was super fascinating. I also want to say I did not see any type of negative side effect as far as the eating. I didn't just have as beneficial as I would have by not eating. So it's definitely better. However, for me, I either feel as though I need to extend it to make it 4 days or 3 days. We're already pushing 3 days now to grasp those benefits with fruit or whatever it may be. However, that's the notes I have for this week's fast. I'm really going to sit with myself to figure out what I want to do next week. If I want to go back on the green tea, it's not something I really wanted to do. I thought from here on out I was actually going to eradicate it. But, continuously, taking notes continuously, figuring out what works and what doesn't. And I'm going to try to maximize this body, this one vessel I get to have on this planet, as best as possible going forward. See you all next week to see what fast I did and how my body reacted. Okay, we are now officially done with week 2 of this month's minimum 48-hour fast per week. This week, I'm actually crossing almost the 68-hour mark. I did coffee and green tea for this fast, and I must say, after going last week with a fruit fast, this week felt such a relief to not eat, to not chew, to not have a hungry sensation, made it effortlessly easy to go about my daily routine. I noticed tremendously how it felt so well to just not eat. It felt as though I was ready to not eat. It was a thought in my head genuinely of, I am so glad that I get to not eat, to reset my body. And I've never felt like that before. So to see myself feel that feeling is such a phenomenal feeling to be in my progression of my fasting. So this week was a little different. I fasted on Wednesday and Thursday, having my last dinner Tuesday evening around 5 o'clock. Normally I do Mondays and Tuesdays, and I do boxing on Tuesday. So normally I go to boxing fasted, and that's normally the back end of my fast because I start on Sunday night. So I'm already around the 30 plus hour mark when I go to boxing. So this week I had food in my stomach, and I've gotten my body accustomed to pushing myself a certain limit, a certain way. And I was able to continuously push myself this week during boxing. However, I threw up. I genuinely threw up in my mouth a little bit, and then I swallowed it. It wasn't a substantial amount to where I couldn't swallow it, but that just goes to show having food compared to not having food while pushing yourself a certain way can definitely affect your performance. I was able to keep up my bodily functions. I feel as though I didn't really have any lacking of performance, which was surprising to feel like throwing up. And of course, I did have this sensation before and a little after. It faded after a certain while. However, just to notate that is quite fascinating. As far as this fast, I also noticed sometimes I can catch myself needing a break because I work from morning till night, from my eyes open to my eyes closed. And oftentimes I might need a break from work. So I might go make some oatmeal, not because I'm hungry, but because I want to take a break. But with having food, it gives me extra energy to want to take a break by doing something. However, when I'm fasted, especially no food fasted, I'm really starting to notice that since I'm not at an amplified amount of energy, I am really selective with what I do and don't do. So when I need a break, I will go meditate. Now, it is so much more welcoming, so much more natural to say, okay, I need to break. I need to go take a genuine break. I don't even have the extra energy to manipulate a break. No, I'm tired, I'm burnt out. You need to go meditate. You need to go focus on your breath. Even if it's a small nap, you need to go reset properly. No phone, no distraction. So having those breaks and then going back to work, my productivity and efficiency level has been through the roof because now I have the genuine clear mind that I was aiming to achieve by taking minuscule breaks. Even though I'm not working, I'm theoretically still working by cooking and cleaning and so forth. So that was really fascinating to see how selective my energy output is when I don't have an abundant amount of it, right? And then on top of that, I get more work done, which still surprises me because I get so much work done in general. But to be fasted and to get more work done, it never fails to surprise me. Being able to allow that creative outlet go into my work instead of it going into consumption. So fascinating to see. So I'm going to continue these fasts with just liquid for now, at least for next week, because I really want to see if I can. I'm starting to notice, shall I say, the liquid and heavily water liquid. I'm going to stay away from smoothies, from fruit, anything that really gravitates towards consumption. I want to move away from that as much as possible. However, I do like the green tea and coffee. I have coffee in the morning and then I do green tea maybe for lunch and then dinner. It gives me the sugar I need to do my work, but also keeps me in a low energy fasted state. I'm loving this progress so far and I can't wait to see how my body will react next week. Okay, I'm on hour 45 of this week's fast. We are actually in the middle of a hurricane here in Florida, so I wanted to get this video going before or if I lose power. So I only did hot beverages this week, which was green and black tea only. I did have my normal performance increase, and I also didn't feel the relief of not eating. It felt as a natural transition into my fast, whereas last week it felt so good to finally not eat. So that's quite fascinating to see my body become adapted to this prolonged fasting to where I get ready for 2 days, which is 48 hours, and that has become my new normal. My body starts to anticipate a prolonged break. I also do want to mention, since I did not have caffeine or coffee per se, I did not digest throughout this fast, which is something that I already knew, but taking it out of the dietary regimen this fast just proved it to me even further. So I definitely want to continue to utilize coffee in that process, because I don't want to have to wait to eat to kind of reset it. I want to be able to clean my system out as much as possible during my fast so I can maximize the fasted process. I got my normal good sleep. I'm sorry, this rain is smacking me in the face right now. So I'm going to try to last until hour 48. I just want to make sure I have power to be able to heat up my food. So if I need to, I'm going to break it a little earlier. However, hour 48 is definitely at least what I'm aiming for. I'm going to end the video here, and I'll see you next week for the last week of this month's 48-hour minimum fast challenge. Okay, we are on the final week of this month, and I am actually just about to cross over the 65-hour mark. And as I continue this journey, the benefits are stagnating because of the familiarity that my body is getting accustomed to through this continuous fasting journey. When I first started doing the green tea and coffee mixture, it made it so much easier to not have to mentally use so much willpower to get things done because of the lack of energy. And now it's getting to the point where it requires less of it. So I used to really preferably take 3 cups of the green tea and the coffee to really get through the day with the same level of energy I would if I had eaten. And now it's gotten to the point, the last 3 days theoretically, because this is the third day. So today I had one cup of coffee, and then 1 cup of green tea, actually half a cup because I didn't finish it. And the two previous days, I only had 1 cup of coffee and one entire cup of green tea. Actually, yesterday, I actually had half a cup of cold, and then I had 1 cup of hot. So seeing that, just naturally not wanting to consume sugars or anything else needed to get through my day is such a fascinating observation that I've noticed. So I'm kind of getting to the point where I either want to take away something or extend the time. And I'm more leaning towards extending the time, because the energy level I'm having, being able to sustain while fasted without consuming food, shall I say, and keeping the beverages very specific and minor, I would preferably want to extend it. We're already at 65 hours. So in 7 more hours would be 72 hours. So what I'm really curious of doing next month is attempting 72 hours minimum. I genuinely feel, as this current moment, 65 hours, and theoretically I have 2 more entire green tea mixtures that I could theoretically drink to continue on. I feel as though I could get to the 72 hours with no problem. At that point, 72 hours though a week would just come with a scheduling adjustment to figure out when can I not eat, having events and so forth. So that was going to be more of the challenge. However, if I can get that in the routine, will be chef's kiss. And then eventually, 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, only eating once on Sunday. How fascinating is that? And to actually be able to maintain my energy levels, mind you, this week. And so when I say the benefits are stagnating, it's that my body's getting accustomed to it, so I don't see it as much as I used to, but the benefits are there. Sleep, phenomenal. I can get 2 hours and I'm good. I can get 10 hours and I'm good. I can focus. I almost am getting to the point where eating is so obsolete that there is not a worry in my world about eating. Eating doesn't even come across my mind. Not having to cook, clean, figure out what I want to eat, go to the grocery store. It's just a phenomenal feeling where I can work on creation, work on anything else other than consumption. And then on top of that, gain so many health benefits on top of that. How could one not want to continue this journey? So from here on out, I'm going to try, I'm confirming it with myself actually right now as we speak. Next week is going to be week 1 of the next month's challenge, and I'm going to do 72 hours guaranteed for next week. And if I feel like that is manageable, the entire month is going to be 72 hours no food for an entire month. How cool is that to see that progression already happening within this fasting journey naturally? Not even me really pushing myself outside of my comfort zone. I can naturally jump into 72 hours, no problem. What? That's so cool. I also want to end this video with saying, yes, I'm at 72 hours per se, hopefully, but this took a while. I've been fasting for 24 hours for over a year now, and I just recently bumped it up to the 48 hours. And then once I got to the 48 hours, just water was a little too much. I'm doing too much to have that low energy, which I could do. But if I could, drink 1 cup of coffee and a couple cups of green tea to give me the same energy to get throughout my days and you not have to eat, it's more beneficial to not have to fight that battle when this is almost equivalent. So getting to the point is, you start small. If you eat 4 or 5 times a day, cutting out all 5 meals in the same day is too much for our body. It's too much for us to ask for ourselves. Then we're not going to do it. We're going to be mad and beat ourselves up that we couldn't accomplish a goal that we set out for ourselves. That's not how we do it. We want to take baby steps. If you eat every 3 hours, you go every 4 hours, every 5 hours, whatever is manageable for you. And as you see your wins pile up, it's going to motivate you to continue to go on while your body is actually adapting to make it easier for you to go on. And that's how you make progress, not only with fasting, but with anything else in your life. I am super excited to continue my journey. I am super excited for you to be here because now you're curious what fasting does for a human being, which means this is your sign to try it out. I will keep you all updated each week as I continue this fasting journey. Hopefully to day 7, day 6 here sooner than we think. However, enjoy the rest of your day and thank you so much for spending your time here with me today.